Hello everyone, this is Evelyn of Evelyn's Creations. I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I want to inspire you to keep sewing. And I really want to show you that I actually bought this home that I'm at right now. I bought this home using a sewing machine that I bought from Walmart. That's right, I bought a sewing machine, and I always buy sewing machines from Walmart because they are inexpensive. Walmarts are everywhere, and if you get in the gym, you need a lot of sewing done, you can pick up a Walmart sewing machine, especially if you get the heavy duty. But I want to inspire you to keep sewing. And the reason I want to inspire you to keep sewing is because sewing is underrated. There's not hardly anyone you can find that don't need any sewing done. Whether it's hemming pants, putting on buttons, making dresses, making pillows, napkin covers, lap napkins, shades, blinds, whatever your skill set is or whatever you want to go into, just don't stop sewing, okay? Now, how did I start my life sewing? I started sewing because there was a lack of money. There was a lack of clothing, and there was a lack of support. My mother was single with 2 children, and she worked 3 jobs, okay? So there was no money for buying extra things. I was the type of child that was in every sport. I was every single sport, from basketball, track, cross country, the community softball, and at night I sewed at a sewing class, okay? Sewing now is almost gone. You can't find a house with a sewing machine, and you can't find too many people that's interested in sewing. So this is a gold mine for you. Think of that. It's a gold mine for you. This house was bought with me sewing with a sewing machine that I bought from Walmart. Yes, I bought a sewing machine and still do buy sewing machines from Walmart, and I sew. And I tell you, one sewing skill goes to another and another and another and another. So how did I do that? First of all, my girlfriend was, when I say girlfriend, a friend of mine that did trade shows. She said, listen, I don't want to own this house anymore. And I'm like, what do you mean? Every time I come to Atlanta for a trade show, I would stay with her at this house. And she said, I want to go into the ministry. I said, what do you mean? You want to give up this house to go into the ministry? She said, yes. So what I did, this is what I did. I'm going to show you sewing. I'm going to show you small business. I'm going to show you encouragement. I'm going to show you how to buy a house, even if you didn't have any money. I didn't have any money. What I did was, I knew a friend that was a realtor, and the friend told me, hey, write a contract, even if you only have a piece of paper, and give a $500 deposit. I said, well, I could do that. The house back then, 20 years ago, was $125,000. So I wrote up a contract on a piece of white paper and said, I want to buy your house. Here's a $500 deposit. Guess what? They don't deposit a check until you're ready to buy, all right? So they got a contract. Look, we got somebody who want to buy the house. They ran all my numbers. Long story short, within 30 days, I had to come up with $5,000, and I bought the house. Now, how did I do that? Well, back then, you know what I did? I had some credit cards that I hadn't used because I had been told to be afraid of credit cards. I had 2 credit cards, and the credit cards had like $3,000 on them each. I was able to get $2,500 off each credit card, and I bought this house. Can you believe it? Now, once I bought the house, I tore the cards up, and I had to pay the cards off, okay? But I'm gonna walk around and show you this house because it is really, really cool. I bought this house. I'm in Atlanta, where Atlanta has so many things going on, and I'm gonna try to turn it around. Well, I'm gonna just show you the curb appeal. But once I bought the house, also, I'm gonna show you that truck. See that truck? I bought that truck with just sewing. That's a Ram truck. I'm a farmer too. But anyway, I'm gonna walk around the house. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, where there's a lot of clay dirt. There's a lot of clay. That's one bay window. And there are other bay windows on the house. And I'm just gonna kind of walk around a little bit and show you the home. It's down on a hill. But anyway, what I did was I bought the house, and when I got the house, I have to tell you, I actually cried once I got the house. When I closed on the house and I got the house, I just bought a house, and I said, oh my God, this house It's just too much home. It is too much home. It's huge. I'm not good at this, ladies and gentlemen, but the house is huge. And when I bought the house, I actually said, what am I going to do with all this house? How am I going to take care of this house? Well, guess what? God provides. And I just started working on the house, and I've had it painted since I bought the house. There's a nice pond on the back side of the house here. And I just kept sewing. So what I want to tell you is that don't undermine sewing. And when you're sewing, don't give up on think that you should be sewing big projects. Small projects adds up. And when you go do a trade show or you do some sewing for someone, each job, try to put one job in the bank. Meaning that if you do this, I'm going to try to get to an angle. I'm going to walk out further so you can see the house. But I actually live in Florida, and this is a home that I come in when I have to do business, when I go to the shows. And now you can see the house at a better angle because I'm in the front yard. And this is the house. That's the garage. That's my pickup truck. And when I do this, I just want to inspire someone. I want to inspire someone because sewing is the best kept secret. And when you sew and you don't have a goal in mind, you can miss out on your blessing. Let me say that again. Sew, have goals, be focused, put a little bit of money on the side. And when an opportunity comes, guess what? You can be a blessing to yourself, you can be a blessing to someone in your family, and you can be a blessing to someone in the community. Okay? Now, my dogs are very jealous. They're very jealous of me, and they cause me a lot of problems sometimes when I'm trying to do a video, but that just shows you that I am human, and I am going to make sure that I don't leave this life without helping others and without inspiring others, because that's what we need to do. We need to help others. We need to inspire others. This is a nice, quiet community in the Atlanta area. And most of my neighbors, I've been here for, like I said, over 20 years. My neighbors know I travel a lot. They know I live in another state. They know I come in when I need some time to just reflect and design without interruptions. So they watch out for me. And this is where I really eventually want to retire. But I want you to know, as a sewist, that there's nothing you can't accomplish. Now, one time when I was in my early sewing career, I rode the trains all the way through Europe and Germany and Milan and Sweden, and I went to those places. And I went and I learned as much as I could about sewing. I was like a Harriet Tubman. Slept on the train, woke up, slept on the train at night, traveled, got off, and looked at all the different people doing all the sewing. It was so inspirational. And women at that time was not really sewing. Women were not allowed to sew because they could make more money than their spouse, and they would no longer leave spouses, just like women get paid less than men in some of the similar jobs. But I'm telling you, if you want to do some things and you want to be looking for the future, making some things, looking for the future, making some things and making sure you can have it accountable for, then look at real estate. Look at buying a home. Look at making money and having some money and having something to show for. I've used this house over and over and over again. I don't have anyone staying in the house. I make sure that the home is ready. So anytime I come into Georgia, I can stay, I can buy my supplies, I can make, I can create, and I can get away from the stores. Okay? But had I not known, had someone not told me how profitable it would have been, I would have just used it as a hobby and would have still been working for Walt Disney World. I learned a lot from Walt Disney World. Walt Disney World taught me customer service. It taught me persistence. It taught me drive. It taught me professionalism. It was a great way to start my career. Before that, I worked at McDonald's. Okay, so I'm a product of McDonald's. McDonald's taught me also customer service. Okay, but what I'm here to teach you, or what I'm here to inspire you to do, is to keep sewing, Put a little bit money to the side. When you do a sewing project, always invest in one thing further. Like if you sew a dress, maybe invest in some extra elastic, or maybe invest in some extra buttons, maybe invest in some extra Velcro, maybe invest in some zippers, different sizes, different colors. So when you get these projects at the last minute, then you want to be able to go and sew and not have to stop for every little thing because you built up your stock. Now, how to price to buy something like this? How to price to buy something like this? You price your items just like the post office. If it's something that is, oh, I'll get it when you're ready. That's called first class. First class is the slowest way your mail gets through. It says first class, but it's actually slow class. It means when we get to it, it's like a book. Okay, ground or advantage with the U.S. Post Office means we'll give it 2 to 5 days. Okay, it's not a rush. Priority is when we'll get it to you in the minimum of 1 to 3 days. That is the step below express. If someone wants it express, you have to tax them on it. Express is $45 the next day. Okay, it's the next day or the second day. So what I want you to know is that when you're pricing your items to be able to afford a house like this is a house that I bought sewing with a Walmart sewing machine. Okay, when you want to price your items according to the urgency and the level of difficulty. Okay, 2 things. The urgency, I need it today, I need it tomorrow, and the level of difficulty. So meaning, and also have a minimum charge. Like when you buy a postage and it's not first class, there's a minimum charge of $7 if you have a stamps.com, which I'm encouraging you to get if you're doing mail order. I'm encouraging you to do some mail order if you don't plan on, just doing pop-up shops, because that's going to increase your income. Start your mail order even when you don't want to, because when you need it, it'll already be in existence. Send them a picture, get you a quick website, 1-in-1, or Chat GPT can make you a website. Do that and get the money. Get the money for a rainy day. Save some money for a rainy day so you can be prepared for what might come to you. If you're not prepared, you're going to miss a lot of opportunities. Average is not unacceptable. Okay, when I say average, I mean when you make something, do your best. Press it out, package it well, give it to that client so they will be back. Okay, so average is not only sewing the item, it's also making the item to the very best to your ability, and press and package it. If you sell jewelry, if you make jewelry, put it on a nice box, a nice card. Don't overdo it, but definitely don't underdo it. Do not let average be a part of your vocabulary. Go outside the box, give a great product, give a great service, and also in exchange for their information. Because there were some people that I had in my phone that I called and said, hey, would you like to buy a garment right now? Would you like to buy a garment in the next 30 days or 90 days? Then they pre-ordered. So when they pre-ordered, I had the money to start paying the card back. I didn't have to force anybody to hurry up. They said, come to the table with $5,000. It has to be cash or cashier's check. It can be cash, but a cashier's check, and you can buy the house. Plus that was closing costs and everything else. But I did it. So what I'm saying is, like right now, houses are overpriced and the interest rate is high. Just came down to 0.5%. 0.5% is a couple $100 on your mortgage. However, the houses are overpriced. Once those houses start to come down, then it's a better time to buy. Because now, even though you get that 0.5% market off, you're going to be paying a higher mortgage because the houses are overinflated. They're spending too much. Tariffs, wood, cement, all that goes into the curb appeal, the shrubs have to do, the plant and everything. So what did I teach you today? I'm gonna be persistent. I'm gonna check on you, okay? I want you to save for a rainy day. I want you to buy some real estate, because real estate is king and they're not making it anymore. Meaning land. They are building houses, but they're not building land. I want you to invest in your sewing. I don't care if you hem pants. Make it known that you hem pants. Make it known that you're the best hemmer in that community. You sew on buttons. If you just do it and you give yourself time, find some space and time in your home, your apartment, or your studio and build your inventory and make some things. When you're not sewing for clients, build some inventory so you can sell to people that may just be looking for it. And when you build your inventory, don't just build 3 or 4 items. Have the product that you can make 10 to 20 items, because the more that you can build, the more that you can make, and the more items that you can sell. And in turn, that turns into something that you can actually see. This is something that you can actually see, and you can say, hey, I actually bought that with a sewing machine, a regular sewing machine. Now, I'm not opposed to sewing machines that are big and industrial. I have those. But I'm going to tell you why I like my smaller sewing machines. I like my smaller sewing machines so I can think. When you have the industrial sewing machines, some of them are quiet and some of them are not so quiet. When you have your industrial sewing machines, it just seems like you're in a factory. I always like to have my sewing as if I am actually having fun, and I can think and not feel like I'm in a high-pressured factory. And they're portable. So whenever I'm traveling, I always travel with a sewing machine. In fact, this what just happened. I had to go to Alabama to my husband's friend's funeral. And we didn't know the dress code, because funerals now they have a dress code. Well, he was Alabama fan. And I was working on a client, and I had some really nice white linen and some lace I was playing around with. And we got there, and they needed, the colors was white and burgundy, which is Alabama colors for if you were an Alabama fan. I happened to have some white fabric, some white linen, Italian linen, and I had my sewing machine. So I got the sewing machine out, and in 20 minutes, I made my pair of white linen pants with pockets, and he happened to have 2 or 3 different Alabama shirts. He wasn't sure which one. But it was just that easy that I was able to make a pair of pants, enjoy the funeral service, which it was really wonderful to celebrate his life, and have on some pants without trying to say, oh my God, I actually took a black and gold dress, because funerals are usually black. But I went and I bought this fabric, went to the funeral, had a great time, and was right on target. Nobody even knew that I had made my own outfit for the funeral that morning. I mean, it was like literally 30 minutes max. That's with pressing it out, a pair of pants, cutting it out from scratch. I had a pair of pants on. I laid those pants down. Due to framework, I outlined those pants, made it a little bit larger for seam allowance, put some elastic in it. And once I put the elastic in it, went over to the ironing, pressed it out. You would think I just came out of Neiman Marcus with a pair of bad linen white pants, and made the service in the same hour. So I'm here to tell you, once you start sewing and once you get your skill set and you master your skill set, you can sew. It has endless possibilities. And if you don't think about it like that, you'll miss out on a lot, because you'll think, oh my goodness, oh, here it is. Here I'm sewing again. Sewing can be a de-stressor. It can help you be creative. It can help you do some. In fact, I'm going to tell you this. That's my dog, seeing a neighbor. And if you see that you can sew, there is a scarf called an infinity scarf. Okay, guys, cut it out. Cut it out. Cut it out. Cut it out. I'm going to walk over here just so they'll calm down. But anyway, there's an infinity scarf, and it takes hardly any sewing. That's when it's one circle. You take that infinity scarf, and you can sew that, I would say less than 20 minutes at the max. And those infinity scarves are selling for $30. And they're selling with all kinds of fabric. That's a golden nugget I want to leave you with today, because I know a lot of people that can sew a straight line. Even if you had to use hem tape, you can sew with a straight line. And that's just a scarf going around your neck, and you can double it if you want to, because it's getting to be winter right now. We're in the fall, but it will be winter. But this is an item you can stock up. You can put it up to the neck, or you can lower it down. It can be fashionable, because in the winter, people still like to be fashionable, correct? They like to look like I'm not just going to wear black and brown all year. So An infinity scarf is a good scarf because it can be worn by men or women. It doesn't take a lot of fabric. It doesn't even take a yard of fabric. And a yard of fabric, you can cut it in half. You can cut it actually in 3 pieces. If you fold that scarf 3 pieces, 3 long way pieces, you can actually get 3 infinity scarves out of that fabric. So I'm here as Evelyn of Evelyn's Creations, inspiring you to sew your way into wealth. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Like, subscribe, and share.